Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I know it's about a minute or two before 12 o'clock, so I know there's maybe a couple more people that are going to join, and we'll kind of wait for them to show up. And around 12, a little past 12, we'll get started. But nice to see some of you guys on here. See, we got Milan, Victoria, Angela, and Beta. Hi, Vida. All right. We're going to get started soon here. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about the Google Maps playbook. So I've prepared quite a bit here. Um, we'll just start in about a minute. So I let some more people on. And we got Jesse on as well. Jesse, I was just saying, hey, got a presentation planned out just specifically for the Google Maps and the GBP. Angela, giving a little wave. If you guys can hear me, does my audio sound clear? Give me a little one or give me a little chat in here. Got a thumbs up. If you guys want to, you can share your video if you want, and it makes it a little bit more engaging. I'll share my screen too as well. All right, super excited to get into this. I've prepared a pretty extensive slide deck, and it's going to be super practical. We're going to be talking about um, just the Google Business Profile. And before we kind of dig into there, I'm going to actually throw this into the chat so you can open it up and take a look. When you open that link, I'll actually show you here. It's a workbook that you can copy. You just click the file and make a copy if you want yourself. And it just runs through basically everything that I'm going to go through today. It'll touch base in a little bit more detail so you can take this back and kind of work on it yourself. Type in the chat, open if you're able to kind of get this opened and you're taking a look around in it. Got the threw it in the chat there, but it goes through basically everything you need to do from verifying your Google business profile to optimizing it, what parts Google looks at it. I need to give access. Okay. Let's see. All right. My bad. If you guys just refresh your page, it should come up. I'm just gonna do it so that anybody with the link can get access to it. So then you can just make a copy of it yourself. Just wanted to give this to you guys as a kind of a bonus for just jumping on here. So with that being said, let's just kind of jump into it. This is based on my growth model for growing businesses. I've been doing this for 10 plus years. And today we're just going to be really talking about SEO. Google Maps kind of falls into the SEO. I mean, when you're looking at kind of systemizing how to grow your business, you can really look at kind of three different things on the internet marketing side. There's number one, drive leads. And once you have the traffic coming to your website, whether it's through SEO, paid search, you have your own CRM or databases that are bringing in these leads, then you have maximized conversion. With your website, you want to build trust and authority so that people view you as the go-to source in your niche or your industry. And then automation, whether you have follow-up automated text messages, whether, with the advance in AI, we're actually getting into like AI call bots that are answering the phone. A lot of really cool things we could do on this side of things. And then obviously once you start getting results, it's about optimizing them. the metrics that you look at when you're getting that data back in. What are we doing for the ROI? How can we increase that so you're getting more per dollar that you're putting into this machine? And this is just another way of breaking down today. We're really just talking about the organic SEO. There's a lot of other things we can cover in order to really accelerate your growth. And there's really 9 clear steps to triple your sales by getting your internet marketing right. So if you guys want to know a little bit more, these are all the things that, in my experience, have come together to really help explode businesses up. And for the next kind of 60 minutes, just a little bit of housekeeping, turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. Because if you're running a counseling therapy practice or any other business and you're serious about getting better results with your Google Maps, then the next 60, 90 minutes is really important. What we'll cover today is we'll go over kind of the latest updates in the Google Map listings. There's 5 biggest issues that could be preventing you from ranking that you probably put into place back 3-5 years ago, but Google's a fast-changing place, and those things that you put into place could be blocking you from ranking higher. We've got our proven model for ranking in the top 3-pack. Of course, it used to be a 7-pack a couple of years ago. And then the best tools to systemize and automate all the heavy lifting. So who am I? Why should you listen to me? I'm the founder of a digital marketing agency focused 100% on helping counselors and therapists grow their practice. I've been helping counseling clinics and really in the digital marketing space. And for example, one of the clients we got 300 plus conversions that led to over 100 booked sessions in a single month using a proven blend of Google Ads, SEO, map ranking. So we put all of that into a package and really help them accelerate their business. And just business in general, I've gotten 10 plus years of experience, and every year we're refining, optimizing our systems that we have, and really with the systems refined specifically for therapy and mental health professionals. And the one thing that we really want to focus here is marketing that kind of builds trust and not pressure. So we're trying to place you guys as the authoritative go-to source for people to then go out of their ways and come to you. And the number one reason that I take pride in with my team is our clients love us because we communicate clearly and collaborate closely. So they always know exactly what's happening and why it's happening. And it's not like they're just giving total control over to us and we're saying, hey, just trust me, bro. So this is what we do. This is our team. We're on a mission to help over 300 counseling clinics grow their practice, attract ideal clients, and thrive. The small knit team here gets everything done from web design, SEO, Google Ads, and all the other tech headaches. So just a little small pitch here. If you are interested in getting kind of a free audit for your business, you kind of want to know, okay, I'm not doing too bad, but I'm just kind of curious what the potential out there is. What can you guys do for me? If you type into the URL counselingseo.com/schedule, you'll come to a landing page and just fill in that form. Once you fill that out, our team will reach out to you and we'll give you kind of like a free audit. So I just wanted to give this quick little plug before we dive into all the meaty stuff here. So the first question I really wanted to tackle is, do Google Maps even matter? And I know it's like changing quite a bit, you know, from when it first came aboard, there was, 7 map listings. It seems like as Google keeps advancing more and more, it's pushing down the map listings. Now we've got the ad section. Now we've got kind of the integrated AI section as well in the Google Maps. And so I really wanted to cover this because with the data that we're looking at and a study done by Moz called the Moz Forecast Graph, we receive about 71% of clicks in the top 5% positions right here. So between these listings here, we get 71% and 11% of clicks go to the ad. So that's the section above here. And really, when you're looking at the map section and you're looking at the data behind it, you're getting about 44% of clicks and calls. in the section here. So, in this example, it's Toronto Counseling Clinic. You can see all these businesses listed here. About 44% of them, of the calls and clicks are happening in this area here. And so, yes, Google Maps does matter, and Google's still one of the kings of this space. And it's not really close, although things like ChatGPT, Gemini, answer engines are coming and becoming more prominent. I don't know if you guys have dabbled in that much, and even they're really great for having conversations, but they're integrating a lot of local aspects into their functionality as well. As an example with AEO, and we can even pull up some live examples, but when I do, for example, I need a counselor in Vancouver, BC, who would you recommend? That's what showed up when I was creating the slides. If we kind of take a look, maybe I can do an example right now with ChatGPT. So if I say I need a counselor near me, who do you recommend? This is kind of an example of what ChatGPT is moving towards. It kind of searches the web, it goes out there, gathers all this information, and then it just lists it right here. Depending on how you phrase it, sometimes it gives you map section, or sometimes it just lists out different businesses. It's getting kind of smarter. And this is kind of what we want to start paying attention to, especially with the coming years, because more and more people are moving into just integrating AI into their everyday life. And so that's kind of what it looks like. There's just to kind of distinguish the two terms, AEO and GEO. AEO is answer engine optimization, which is focused on creating content that answers common customer questions, whereas GEO is kind of more like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini. It's generative engine optimization, and it's the practice of optimizing your content to show up for the AI-powered searches. And so this is an example of what we saw maybe a couple weeks ago, and the live kind of right now we're getting different results. And this is kind of the data for this. So clearly with Google search, there's 10 million plus searches for local based searches. And so it's still clearly the dominant platform for people searching for, therapist near me, grief counseling, NYC. But ChatGPT, it's not bad. It's got 500,000, a million plus queries, and it's growing really fast. So we just want to make sure that we're paying attention. And really the type of questions that are asked on ChatGPT are still more conversational based queries, like people that are looking for solutions, and maybe kind of like a more DIY approach. Whereas Google still is the king for people looking for services, right? And of course, there's Perplexity, Bing Chat, Copilot, and then Gemini, which is fully rolled out, although I'm seeing it a lot more and more integrated within the searches. So Google is still king, especially for direct service-based searches and local intent, but GEO-driven platforms are catching up pretty quickly, and especially for the FAQ, educational, comparison, conversation type queries, it's just steamrolling. And many users are bypassing traditional searches and just asking AI tools directly. So this means you really want to show up in both. We kind of want to pay attention to that. And the thing you have to keep in mind with the AI is that they still need to look at a certain data set. And so if you optimize the things that they're looking for, the same way that you're optimizing the things that Google's looking for, that helps you show up. And so it's just nice that there's a big overlap between what Google's looking at and what AI is looking at. So why maps are important? Well, one of our clients, Skylar Counseling, when we first started with them, they weren't showing up anywhere on Google Maps, and we got them to the second position. This is what we call the GeoGrid. So with Google, Maps is a little bit different than the traditional organic searches where you have the 1, 2, 3. With the Google Maps, it's very proximity based, which means depending on where you're searching, which location, if you're searching from the east side of the city versus the west side of the city, you're going to get different results, or you can get different results. In this case, they weren't ranking anywhere, and then they got to the second position, and that led to over 67% of increase into their website. But right here with the calls specifically going to their business, they got a 363% increase in calls. So it went from 38 calls a month to 176. So Google Maps is definitely really important, and one of the key pillars you want to put into place when you're doing your digital marketing. You don't want to fully rely on pay-per-click or social media. You want to have it all kind of integrated. So the biggest change in the Google Maps that we've seen, well, what I mentioned before with Google Maps, they've reduced their listings from 7, and I know that was a couple of years ago, down to 3. Google's serving, paid ads in the map results. So sometimes you'll see there's actually 4 map listings, and one of them will say sponsored. And there's in your website, when you're talking about yourself online through different sources, your service areas and keywords just matter more and more. And then you see competition with ChatGPT and other engines. So those are kind of the emerging things that are coming. And really, we're here to help you own the search results. And so these are a couple different areas on the search results that really matter. You got the traditional paid section, which Google experiments all the time. Right here, it says sponsored. Sometimes you see a little, it says AD, like ad. Sometimes it says sponsored right here. You got the paid maps section right here. Like I was talking, there's 4 listings here, but the first one says sponsored. You got the organic map listings here, and then the organic listings down below with the actual website. And just from a psychology point of view, I don't know why, and maybe you guys are the same way. For whatever reason, I just skip the ads section because I'm like, oh, I don't, they paid for that spot, so I want to go somewhere more natural, even though I live in this space and I know that it's just SEO. I still want to go to the organic section. And then there's third-party listings like Psychology Today, Yext, Yellow Pages, some of those places that you want to be mindful of as well. And with that being said, Google says it has reduced fake Google Map listings by about 70%, spammy listings or people who are trying to just game the system. They've reduced it drastically since 2015, about 70%. And so there's a lot of things that they put into place, and that maybe it worked a while back, could be hurting your rankings right now. And so some of the things you need to keep in mind is when you're wanting to rank, you need the office in the city that you're currently targeting to rank well on Google. I know there were some tactics back then where you just wanted to get like your aunt's place and then send the postcard over there and get it verified. If you try to spam Google with fake locations, they're pretty quick on catching that these days. And also, with inconsistent name, address, phone numbers, maybe you made a little bit of a change with your name, you did a rebrand, you even little changes in the address, say you have a suite number 402, but in a different citation or a different place, it says 402 first dash the address. Those little things can really hurt because consistency really matters in Google's eyes, and especially with your maps. They call it the NAP, name, address, phone number. And then spamming city, one of the black hats back in the day was just having your business name and then dash the city. And that could really work. And it still can be done today, if you have your business and then you have Abbotsford or you have Vancouver or you have New York City, it does help you rank. The one thing I would say, just to be sure, is if you're going to go that route, get a DBA so that you're doing business as, and then you have paperwork that you can take a picture and show Google if they ever say, hey, we're actually going to flag your account. We think you're kind of spamming. You have that proof to be like, actually, no, we're legitimately called, ABC company, Abbotsford. This is just, we've got a couple different locations. this is what we're doing business as. So that helps kind of keep you safe. And then I know one that's a little bit tougher for therapists and counselors. Do you have enough reviews across the web? This is something that not only Google looks at, but AI, and then also your customers. So this is just the unfortunate truth of that. And the sixth thing is the service and product section. So within Google Business Profile, there is a new section. You can fill out the services, you can fill out the products, and this helps Google understand what you do and the different types of service and products that you offer. And then on the website, some things you can do that's more of the on-page stuff. You can talk about the different services. You can talk about the different locations your clinic is in. And if you do that, Google's bots, AI's bots, when they're searching or they're crawling your website and scanning it to see what you guys do and trying to understand it, that helps them understand, okay, you guys do EMDR, you guys do EFT, and your clinic is located in Idaho or Vancouver, NYC. So one other thing that I wanted to give you guys too, there's a lot of keywords that we can go through with the number of clients that we work with. You can download a list that we've curated that we use with our current clients. If you just go to counselingseo.com/therapist-keywords, there's probably about 1,000 keywords that we have put together that will help you, especially if you're specializing in CBT or online therapy. It just gives you the type of keywords that people are searching for plus the search volume. And we can also do this for you. So if you want, if you're kind of curious, oh, what type of keyword should we rank for? Which keyword should we go after? And you want us to dig in there, do some research, and then kind of uncover some of those gems to give to you. counseling.seo.com/schedule, and we can put that together for you, kind of give you something custom that you can take away. Whether we decide to do business or not, there's still something valuable you can take away from that. And so the proven formula for getting ranked in the 3-pack for your Google business profile is, number one is the citations. So how citations came about is, well, something that a lot of people know is Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages is one of the first ones, and they were kind of an off internet type citation. They were just a business directory. So they had every single business, even they had, people's cell phone numbers just listed in their books. And it was just a way for them to organize and help people find relevant businesses. Now today with citations, there's probably over 150, 200 different citations you can get online. And the most common things that define whether it is a citation or not is whether they have your name, address, phone number, and link to your website. So you can see, for example, there's Facebook, Yellow Pages, Yelp, local.com, Ask, all of these. And a reminder too that when you're building the citations, the most important thing is consistency, because you need to have the name exactly the same. I don't know if you have, Counseling Abbotsford, it's different than Counseling Abbotsford Incorporated. Those little things kind of confuse Google, and they're getting better and better, but it also doesn't take too much to fix those errors. Reviews is really important, and the nice thing is it's hard for everybody in the counseling space to get reviews. So just finding creative ways to get those. 5 reviews on your listing is exponentially better than 0 reviews, and helps you rank better and helps people kind of see what you're doing and helps with conversion. And the last thing is the on-page SEO. I did a whole webinar a month ago specifically about SEO, GEO, AEO, and we covered on-page SEO a lot on that webinar. So I don't want to beat it like a dead horse, but those are some things that are important. So business profile trust, you got the brand authority, got the different verification methods, from highest to lowest. There's double verified, where they'll send you a postcard, they'll send you a text, and they will also want a video. Video verification is probably the best, although it's kind of annoying to do. They get a live rep, so you literally have your cell phone, you're talking to them, you've got some of your paperwork that show, your business name, address, maybe you have a couple bills that you pay with the internet or other tools and other things. That helps you get verified. And, I put a lot of this in the workbook, so we don't have to go into too much detail for that. The total number of reviews matters, but also something that not many people talk about is the review velocity. So the number of links or the quantity of the links that you're able to get on a consistent basis really actually helps you rank higher. Like someone with 100 reviews, um, maybe in Google's eyes, isn't as relevant as someone with 20 reviews, but getting 10 reviews every week versus the one who has 100 reviews, but getting like one a month. And something actually interesting is if you were actually recently suspended and then unsuspended, it's actually a good thing because, you know, it's so much harder to get verified today with Google Business Profile. Like they're fighting so much against spam that if you actually get unsuspended, you actually get a little bit of a boost because they're like, oh, okay, like we actually know this is a legitimate business. And then back end, so routinely uploading images, updating the info if there's holiday hours coming up, updating that. Something that's very underutilized is replying to reviews, replying to every single review, just saying, hey, thanks for your feedback, really appreciate it, whether it was a positive review or a negative review or kind of like a neutral one. You want to reply to every single one because it looks good for other customers seeing your Google Business Profile, but also Google then knows, oh, these guys are really engaged with us here. And so just like anything, when you want to fully optimize something, just complete the whole profile. You want the store code, you want to upload a nice logo, cover images of your team work really well. If not, like an office or something relevant, images at work, photos of the whole team, and all that. Now, another big thing, and this is something for SEO as well, but it's the local link strategies. And I know sometimes linking gets a bad rep because there's black hat SEO, which kind of sounds, ooh, it sounds like kind of dangerous, like you're on the edge of the fence. There's white hat SEO as well, but with local link strategies, a couple different types of things you can do is, for example, if you're partnering up with someone locally and you're working on, you're sponsoring a sports team or a club, and you're helping pay for a bunch of jerseys or helping them pay for a bus so that they can go to a tournament. If you just talk to them, a lot of times they have control over their website. It's a local website. It's been established for a while. That type of link going back to your site really builds credibility in Google's eyes, and they know that, hey, this is a sports team that helps kids in the city and it's been here for 10 plus years. You'll be getting a lot of that authority or a lot of that power transferred over to your site. So that's one way. If you host like a local community event, if you want to do like a workshop on, EMDR or some other, trauma-informed lens, you can do that, host it on, live or online, and you can generate a lot of traffic, a lot of people becoming more aware of your website, and you get a lot more local traffic, which also signals to Google, okay, that's where your business is operating. Uh, create a local resource page. So if you're ever partnering up with other businesses, yoga studios or nutritionists, support groups, for grief addiction, so on, and you know that they do really good work and they're level-headed and they take care of their clients, it might make sense to partner up. Hey, I have the resource page. I'm going to put you guys a link here. So if people are interested in doing yoga, they can come see you, and they can have the same thing where they link to your website afterwards as well on their resource page. So There's a lot of different local link strategies. Linking is still really important, especially with the advance in AI. It's one of those things that is a lot harder for AI to do because this involves collaboration. If you're thinking about how do I write really, really good content, well, with AI, with ChatGPT, it just makes it so much easier. So it levels the playing field. Whether they're like 3, 5 years ago, you had to be really good at knowing how to write content, make it engaging, make it so that people can read it and stay hooked. With AI, that helps it a lot easier. And so if you just spend an hour just working on your content, you can really up that level, but it's easier for everybody else. Whereas when you're looking at link building, getting links from other people, AI still can't really do that. It can't really have a dialogue back and forth and then offer something or create a synergistic connection and then get a link back to your website. So links are really the thing that's going to be setting businesses apart, especially within the next, couple of years and for the foreseeable future. So, you want to claim and optimize your Google business profile. Make sure that you have the logins for the Google business profile. You're going to update your company to your company name, and you don't want to just stuff your keywords in there. Although if you do, make sure you get the DBA. Add your website address, which creates a really important inbound, another link to your website. And if you're putting phone numbers in, use a local phone number. Don't do like a 1-800 number. It's just not as good of a signal. And then use local address, no PO box or UPS store. If you are doing a virtual office because you do therapy online, then that's also okay. There are ways around that, which we cover kind of in the workbook. And you want to list your hours of operations and services offered. This one's a tricky one because with Google Maps, Google will show you when your business is operating. So if you say your business operates from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever time it is, you'll have an easier time ranking during those business hours. But as soon as it hits 5 o'clock, then Google actually deprioritize your business because you're closed. And so then other people will show up. So if you have an answering service, you have someone answering the phone, or with the advance in AI, there's AI that can actually take over and answer phones and actually book for you. And I know you need to be HIPAA compliant, but there are ways to do that. There are strategies you can put into place that can just help you snowball your business forward. Because yeah, if you set it from 9 to 5, your business will start to not really rank after hours because you don't really have anyone answering. So it might make sense to put someone in place or put in like an AI answering system in place just so you have that covered. You get, because a lot of times if people are looking for therapy, it might be after hours. It might be after they're done their work and they get back home at 6, 7 o'clock. And then they're like, oh, okay, shoot, I just really in an existential crisis. I should really look into this. And they find your business, they'll give a call. So that's something that you want to think about as well. And just a screenshot with the photos. You go into the back end, you can upload, some inspirational stuff, some pictures of notes that you've taken about different things you're learning about the mind, about happiness, about the stuff in your field. And you wanna update that on a consistent basis. So, Google also has their Google Posts, and you want to update that about at least every 90 days. If not every month, you can just put something up there. Sponsor reviews. I know you don't go out there explicitly asking, especially for your clients, but if you do get a review, reply back to that. Number 2, build the citations and have that consistency with the NAP. You want to build lots of citations out there, and you want to limit the duplicate or incorrect business information. And there's something out there called data aggregators. And in the internet, there's really the top 3. There's Foursquare, Data Axle, GPS Networks. What these basically do is They have information that they store and they actually spread that out. They distribute that to 210 plus other online sites. And maybe what you've noticed is, hey, this business here, Yelp or whatever, they always have your business name wrong, or they always have the business address wrong. And you go in there, you update it, and you come back a week later and it switches back. Well, it's actually getting its information from these data aggregators. So Foursquare, Data Axle, they're saying they have the correct information and they're pushing it to these other sites. So if you're changing these things online and you're like, it's weird, it keeps changing back. This is probably where it's coming from. And so you want to go to the root of the issue, kind of fix it there, and then that can kind of get distributed out there. So some of the tools we like to use in my team, there's Bright Local, there's White Spark. We actually like Yext as well. These are just different tools you can use to help clean up your citations. And for the citations, you want to manually claim and optimize it for your Google Business Profile or your GBP. If you want to use tools like Yext, it does make it a lot easier. For example, they have a direct API that just plugs into the top 50 citations and you can just update it from their dashboard. And then the other way is getting listed or changing the data within those aggregators can really help as well. So you can use all these tools to kind of figure out how to best help your business. So let's just talk about it. I know it's a difficult topic, but if we're really looking at other counseling clinics, you can see here Toronto Counseling Clinics. They had Toronto Counseling Centers for Teens. They've got 15 reviews. These guys have 28. These guys have 16. With New York City, top guys ranking in the top 3 positions have 25 Google reviews. And then in Vancouver, these guys, 96 reviews. Alpine Counseling Clinics have 121. And so it's hard to imagine how they would get these reviews without having some system in place. And so although it's not, there's ethical debate whether to like go directly to your client and ask for it. There are businesses that are getting it. And so, I'm not saying to ask for them directly, but you kind of want to think about how you can start to gather it. You never want to ask your therapy clients directly for it because you need to respect the guidelines and confidentiality, but also it's just might ruin your therapeutic relationship with your client. So number 2, collect reviews from referral partners. If you're partnering with doctors or coaches or other professionals, you can get reviews from them. And if you're ever doing workshops or doing webinars and people are attending, you can actually ask them for reviews after the fact, and that can help build your credibility as well. So those are a couple different ways that you can do to get them. And it's just the fact that 4 to 5 star reviews helps not only with your ranking but also with your conversion. And it's not like the average person knows that counselors are not allowed to ask for reviews, and that's why most counselors don't have any reviews on their Google business listing. So not to hit the reviews too hard, that's just one of the aspects. On-site optimization, I just love saying that on-site optimization is a fancy way of saying the right keywords in the right place. The right keywords in the right places. You got to have a strong website with good content and good user experience, good content. A lot easier to do these days especially with ChatGPT, get some of those AIs to help you, but you want to work with it. You don't want to just like let it run on itself. You want to feed into it and kind of go back and forth, and that'll help you get really good content. You want to leverage multimedia, so multimedia, video, pictures. Now that it's easier than ever to get good content written up, some things that might make you stand out and some things that some people might be a little bit shy from is doing some video, getting your face on there, because people like to do work with people they like, know, and trust. And so if they can kind of get a little taste of you, the number one best method is actually just talking straight with them face to face. But the second best is through video, because they get to see your tonality, they get to see kind of how you operate. You can kind of present to them, hey, this is why we're in business, and this is what we've helped with, and this is my experience, and so on. It just really helps them connect with you, and that's the whole point. Other things you want to do for your website is every single service that you have, if you specialize in CBT, if you specialize with working with teenagers, if you specialize with people who suffer with intense anxiety attacks, you want to list all those services, you want to list all the modalities that you have, and you want to list all the counselors, because you can then say, hey, this counselor specializes in this and this and this. There's a lot of interlinking that you can do within that. You also want to have a page for each city. So if you have 2 locations, you want to have 2 city locations. If you just have one city that you're serving, one location, that's fine. You don't really have to have a location page. You can just make sure that that's self-evident with the homepage and throughout the website, and especially on the contact page, just have your address, embed your Google business profile there. And then the reason why you want to have these city pages is because you're passing that unique content, and it's the heat map data. But really, it's just a fancy way of saying you're helping Google understand that you serve this city. Your office is in the city, and that's the type of people that you help with. And so you want unique content on every single page, keyword in the title, and H1 in meta description that sells the click. All this stuff I've talked about in the past webinar. Off-page SEO, getting into link building, getting into building citations across the web, and then strategic content syndication. All of that would really help you rank higher in the Google Maps. And so one thing that is not as easy anymore, is the blog post. A simple blog post just won't cut it, and it never really did. It was a really common tactic for SEO agencies to focus, oh, we'll get you 5 blog posts this month, and this will really help you start ranking. But really, when you think about SEO and you break it down into its 2 core components, there's on-page SEO and there's off-page SEO. Now, on-page SEO is, I've been saying it multiple times in this kind of workshop, the right keywords in the right places. But the way to think about that is it's helping Google understand what your website is about. It's about helping Google understand which keywords your website should start ranking for, and what keywords it should start placing you for. And off-page SEO is the links that are pointing to your site. So the way I'd like to break it down for people to understand is SEO is like a car, because with a car, you can break it down into 2 components. There's the steering, and then there's the engine. And you need both of them for the car to actually function for you, right? Like if you had a car that you could only steer but didn't have an engine, like you bought like a 1990 Honda Civic that had a broken down engine, it just won't take you to where you want to go. And the same with if you just had like a fancy new Lamborghini with the loud engine and everything, but you can't steer, it still won't get you where you want to go unless you just want to go straight. So you need both of them put together. And when you're just doing blog posts, you're really kind of just vouching for yourself. You're like, hey, Google, I'm voting for myself. Like, I think I'm great. Why don't you rank me higher? Versus when you're getting links from other websites, those other places are saying, hey, this website, these guys are actually pretty cool. They know what they're talking about. We think that the people that are going on our site deserve to like know more about this, and if they want, click over. So that's why simple blog posts kind of just don't work. But if you are going to do blog posts, there are ways to really utilize it to increase your authority. And it might go, Google has implemented this algorithm called EAT, E-A-T, expertise, authority, and trust. And when you're writing out these blogs, you kind of want to keep that in mind. You know, there's this SEO periodic table, um, and maybe I won't get into that because she kind of just gets outside of it's a tangent. Anyways, the only purpose, the only reason why you would want to do more blogging is if you don't have enough pages on your website to kind of tell Google what your website is about. The rule of thumb is, yes, a website that has 20 pages or has 50 pages is easier to rank for than a website that has 5 pages, just because you have more opportunity to tell Google what you're about. But after a certain point, it's not as helpful anymore. So the last couple of things that I wanted to touch base with you guys about for the local SEO ranking factors, there's kind of 3 things that Google looks at here. Number one, the number one reason why Google Maps came about in the first place is proximity. This is just helping people who are searching for someone local. How close is the place of the business for the person who is searching? Google uses zip codes, geo coordinates in your content to kind of figure out where you are and then where that searcher is. And that's part of the algorithm for them figuring out, should I show this business or should I show this other business? Relevance is, how relevant is the search term for the business? If you're optimizing your content really well using on-page signals, you've got the business categories, you've got the service and product descriptions on your website, you've got clear headings, and you've got niche citations, and the reviews talk about your service and kind of go into it in more detail. That helps with the relevance. And then prominence is a fancy way of saying the authority, kind of the EAT, expertise, authority, trust of that profile. And so Google's looking at kind of all 3 of those. And so, there's the on-page optimization that you really want to look at that really help. It kind of synergizes with Google Business Profile, helps Google understand what it's about, and that's fully kind of in your control that you can do. And so having pages for each service, having pages for each modality, each city, optimizing the titles, the URLs, the H1 tags, the images, even getting some video content on there. That's all really important. And then the GBP, you can claim and optimize your maps. You can add it to Yext or some other citation management platform, or just do it manually. Add it to the major data aggregators, and then just put in a system in place for thinking about, getting reviews, and then adding new citations on an ongoing basis. Then there's the content, so you can do a blog if you want to. That can help with your authority if that's something that you're kind of lacking in, and signals that you want to leverage. Coming back to the links, getting the multiple do follow links to your website, to your GBP, different internal pages. These are all things that help with the ranking. So I think that's basically it for the presentation that I have here. If you're wanting to get more of an in-depth call and you want to go specifically into your business, feel free to kind of reach out, go to this link here. And again, if you want to pick up that the playbook, you can just create a copy and kind of work through that with your own business, kind of go through that checklist. There's a lot of useful things in there. And the other thing is, if you're looking for something more expansive, that like your all digital marketing, not just your Google Business Profile, I have this page here. I'll just copy it and put it in here. If you want to go to this, is a landing page for a checklist. It's a digital marketing checklist, but it covers, conversion on your website. It covers Google Ads. It covers SEO in general and the Google Business Profile, and just helps you kind of get a bird's eye view of what things to kind of focus in on. But Yeah, that basically comes to the end of my presentation. I know you guys been um, very patient. Thanks for coming all the way here with me. I was really excited to kind of give you all of that. So I'm just kind of curious, do you guys have any takeaways or what you learned or noticed or anything you'd like to share, or any questions that you might have? And if not, it's totally okay as well. You can email me, Nick at counselingseo.com with any questions, and we'll kind of take it from there as well. Okay, Beta, you said what would you say are some of the biggest mistakes counselors make to help advertise themselves? I think what's unique in the counseling space is that, and maybe it's just you, counselors are so full of like they want to help people, and then at the same time they kind of feel like, oh, they don't want to be pushy. Like they just like, okay, if they want help, they'll come to me, and that's okay. I don't want to put any pressure. I don't want to. But the thing is, sometimes they don't know all the things that you know, and so they don't even understand how much they can get helped with. And so with marketing, it's kind of helping them see that, hey, they've got this issue or they've got this problem that their life would kind of get better if they're able to kind of dissolve or kind of work through. And so one of the biggest things is kind of being more generic and more bland, and not coming at it with your own perspective, and really sucking out all the personality away from that, right? And that's how that's how you'd like push away people, if you just have a generic website and say, oh, I do counseling, so reach out if you want. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And then you have to kind of have that kind of want to have that balance of feeling how much you should encourage versus how much you should leave it in their court. Right. Lon says, thanks. This is awesome. I'm glad you liked it. You're welcome. Angela says thanks as well. Yeah, Jesse, awesome information. There's a lot to take in. So I'll actually have a replay too if you guys wanna see all that as well. We'll paste it, and you guys have my information too. So if you guys need anything, Victoria, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad you guys took a lot from this. I've prepared a lot. I'm going to be doing another webinar as well. I'm going to be doing probably website conversion. So different things that can really boost conversion, things that sometimes people don't think about when they're creating their website. And I think that that'll be valuable, kind of like the next steps. Got a ton of things I want to talk about and do on these monthly webinars, and just want to help provide value and kind of give this information out there. All right, well, I think I think that wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for coming here. If you guys need to talk at all, you can give this number a call, 778-652-5114. Our whole team is geared to helping people grow their business. And you can also reach out that way. If you're interested in booking a call, counselingseo.com/schedule. And yeah, we can talk about all types of digital marketing, not just the Google Map rankings. We can talk about AI or SEO, website conversion, Google Ads, all that type of fun stuff. All right, I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes, and then we'll kind of just wrap it up. Yeah, no worries, Jesse. We'll talk soon. All right. Well, Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much again for coming.